Okay, we'll start by trying to find the sites for the bicep and tricep skin folds. We need to find the most lateral border of the acromion. So we palpate the top of the arm here to find the acromion, which is the lump closer towards the back of the arm. And we want to find the most lateral border. So in order to do that, we usually just take a pen and we just roll it, and where we can feel it rolling off the edge, that's the part that we want right there. So it's the most lateral part of the acromion. Notice when I did that, I found that, and I never took my finger off it, and then I just drew a little line. Right, so we're using that in the markup. Notice also that it's a line and not a cross, and when it's not a dot, it's nothing else. At this point, we're just using lines. Then we want to find the head of the radius. So again, remember the radius is on the thumb side of the arm. I sort of twist the arm around and I can feel the actual head of the radius moving. You'll have a series of lumps in this area. You've got the epicondyles of the humerus, and then you'll feel there's a slight little gap, and then you can feel the head of the radius. So you know you're in the right spot if there's a little gap above it, and by moving the arm, pronating and supinating the forearm, you can actually feel movement at the head of the radius. And again, we put a little line. We need to find the halfway point between these two markings. So we just take our tape measure, we place it on the two, keeping in mind one thing: we never use the 0 or this sort of offshoot part of the tape measure. Right, in this case, we've got a very good tape measure with a little bit extra, so it's a proper tape measure. But often the 0 is right on the end of the tape measure, and it can fray a little bit and muck up our measurement. So we'll quite often take 10 as 0 and then deduct 10 off the end. But in this case, because 0, there is a little bit of room there, we can use 0, rule down, and we say the distance there is 34. Half of 34 is 17, so we place a little dash on the 17. Now, we've got the midway point in our arm here. All we need to find is the most anterior and most posterior part of the arm from this particular position. So all we need to do to find that then is we take our tape measure and place it around the arm. Now, we use a method called the crossover method at all times when we're placing the tape measure around the arm, which means we're trying to make a full circle. So we've got one part of the tape measure crossing directly over with the other. Now, when we do this, we're looking to line it up using our body position standing directly side on. We want to take the most anterior. So to line of sight here, when I see my pen moving around, if I have my pen there, I can see the tip of it. Any further, I can't see the tip. So I know that if I'm standing directly side on with our patient, that the most anterior portion would be right there. Now, this is actually a Skinfold site. So the difference in markings here is I'm making it across. I do the exact same on the back for the triceps. So by moving my pen around, I can see the most posterior in a direct horizontal with our halfway midpoint mark. And again, I do a little cross. So that's the bicep and tricep Skinfold sites.